So a lot of you guys might not know, but I'm a thinker. And often at times I'm in my mind thinking about things. And this is a topic that I started thinking about pretty deeply. And I was thinking to myself, how is AI going to impact SEO? And sometimes I have different varying opinions. There's times where I think that perhaps it might kill it. There's times that I think that it won't kill it. Either way, that's neither here nor there. The bigger thing that I started to realize is that people are afraid of this shit. And you shouldn't be afraid because it's coming. But you should look at it as a new way to see the work that you're doing, as a way that you can start to make a pivot in how you do the things that you do. You have to realize that average tactics are not enough to make a lot of money. And what this means is that this industry is getting harder to succeed in, which is actually good for people like us. And the reason why is because the harder it gets, the less players there's going to be. And the less players that there are, the more the really good players are going to be able to capitalize off of the market's positioning and how it's shifting. The shift of the market, I should say. And so we should all look at this as an opportunity, right? Not as a bad thing. So there's some things that I've realized that I've been doing way differently than most marketers. The first thing that most marketers that are SEO, that are doing SEO. The first thing that I've realized is that a lot of people who work in SEO think that they're doing marketing, but they're really not. Historically, we have said that the goal of SEO is to understand the users and not the algorithms, to create for the users and not the algorithms. Yet most of the decisions that we make are based off of the algorithm. If you ask someone to do keyword research right now, the first thing they will start to do is probably take a competitor who's online, put their website in a tool like SEMrush, and then look at all of the keywords that competitor is ranking for and try to take those keywords and try to outperform them for those keywords. And that's an easy tactic to find keywords, right? Keywords that you could potentially rank for, keywords that could potentially make a difference in your overall performance of what you're trying to accomplish. But see, what this lacks is true strategy. That's not a strategy, that's a tactic. So the reason why I started thinking about this is because over the last couple years, I've worked on a lot of strategic endeavors with a lot of big companies, and I've realized that my thoughts have shifted severely about how I think about going into a new endeavor with a company. So here's the difference. I no longer just start looking at keywords first or just start, putting them into a tool like SEMrush and pulling the data. I still do that, but not until I've creatively brainstormed and did a lot of research first. So there's always been a research aspect to what I've been doing, right? So I've always sat down, did an audit first, got all this data, whether it was a content audit or a tech audit, and then use that data to make some larger deliverable that informs what we should do moving forward. But what I found is it's really important to understand, obviously in marketing in general, everyone should know this, but it's really important to understand who you're targeting and then to create your strategy based off of that. So for example, you need to find companies that are trying to differentiate themselves. Because if you're going after companies that are trying to go after the mass number of keywords, like the most generic ones, yeah, those will drive money, but those are going to be much harder to compete for. And if your company has no unique differentiation, then it's basically making the whole process harder for yourself, right? And so let's look at this, for example. I know I'm being super long-winded, but there's so much that I have to cover here in order for you to really understand this concept. So let's think that you're a travel agency. I'll give an example because this is a company. I worked with a travel agency not too long ago. And they wanted to get people to join their company that wanted to become travel advisors. That was one subsector or one subset of what they were targeting. And then they also wanted to get people who wanted to travel to book their travel experience with them. But they had a unique positioning in the market, is that they only wanted to go with people who were looking for luxury experiences. And so this made it way different, because now, instead of targeting keywords like what are the best things to do in New York, right? We could look at more luxury keywords, more luxury-based keywords, but it wasn't just the luxury-based keywords. It was understanding the lifestyle that those types of people would live, and then figuring out how we can create content about that as a whole, whether it's through partnerships with other companies that also do things for these people, or whether it was just content strategy, right? And so I know that's a super abstract example, but I hope you guys can grasp what I'm trying to say. If you understand who it is that you are targeting, which is what you should start with, which should be a brainstorming process. It shouldn't be just starting with keyword research. Keyword research should come after. But if you understand who it is that you are targeting, and then you create a strategy. So maybe your strategy is, for them, in their case, they wanted to get more luxury travelers. They wanted to become known as a luxury brand, as a luxury travel agency or travel advisory that could help people with luxury bookings or whatever, right? And so and their goal to accomplish that was targeting specific places where luxury travelers like to go, and so on and so forth, right? And obviously we had some revenue goals tied behind that, whatever. I can get more specific on that stuff later, but I just want you to understand this concept. If you don't start with the creative aspect first, the output of what you're trying to create is not going to hit as hard. It's not. It's just not. It's just not going to perform as good. And so I think this is the issue that a lot of people run into, just in general, because this is how most people do their thinking, their research. And this is not good research, but this is something that we've been conditioned to do because of gurus. And even I myself have gotten out of it because of years and years and years of experience and questioning why I was doing things the way I was doing them. And now I don't do it anymore, right? But I guess the whole thing of what I'm trying to say is the people, so let's tie this back to AI. How does this relate? You're scared of AI because you're not doing strategic work. The more strategic you get, the more you think about your ideas, the more you realize this stuff and understand this stuff, you realize that AI can never replace you, because in order to come to that conclusion, you have to be able to think. And in order to give AI direction, you have to be able to think, right? And so when you can think, then the output that you get will be infinitely better. Your results will speak for themselves. You'll make more money for companies. And so that's the most important thing, right? That's the most important thing. And I think that's what people don't understand, is that you're running from AI. You should be embracing AI and using it to do the monotonous work that you don't want to do. And then using it and spending more time creating ideas that can't be replicated, spending more time thinking, because a lot of people are not doing that. And it's not because they're dumb, it's just because they might not be in that stage. It took me years to learn how to think like this. Years of questioning. Years upon years of questioning. Questioning, why was I doing this thing this way? Why was I doing it this way? How can I get a better outcome? Why do people say to do this that way? I had to basically break down everything that I have ever learned and learn to do it the right way. So I hope this video was helpful. I gotta go to the gym, but I know it was super long-winded and all over the place, but this is just something I was thinking about. So thanks a lot. See you in the next video. Peace.